Welcome back to the Jimi Priceless Show, and this is part 12 of the Author series. Hey, yo, welcome back to the Jimi Priceless Show. We're back at it once again, continuing the Author series that we've been doing since last week. So shout out to everyone that tuned in for that episode. You can check the link up here. And if you haven't checked out, the previous episodes from previous months, you can also check out that playlist, which also should pop up here in the corner. But, to get into this week's episode, I wanted to speak about limits and limitations, that face an artist, and how I kind of find the positives in those limitations. So first of all, obviously, when it comes to like physical things such as resources, it sucks to have limitations, but it pushes your creativity, for example, like recording this YouTube series, I'm using it with my phone attached to a selfie stick that's in the cup with a bunch of like hand towels wrapped around it so that it doesn't move around in the cup. So, innovation. Scarcity, or not scarcity, what's the word? I can't remember the word exactly, but like, lack of the thing you need, forces you to innovate and create it out of things you have. Ooh, that's a bar. But anyway. So, the other limitation a lot of artists or people who want to become full-time artists have is, time. And the way I found the best way to make more time is to manage your time better. And, that for me, it meant being more mindful of the full process of doing a thing. So, I always used to be like, okay, I'm gonna make a song, write the raps, make the beat, record it, done deal, but there's like so much that goes into those three things, like much more than those three things actually, because, you gotta think of a concept, you gotta find your beat, finish the beat, you gotta, of course, because I make my own beats, you gotta, write the lyrics, figure out how you want to structure it. Then you gotta record it, then you gotta mix it, and then you gotta listen to it, then you gotta fix things, and like that. Once you break everything down, it's much easier to schedule it into your life. Because now, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna wrap over this beat code and then, mix it without really giving thought into how much time it takes to come up with a beat and to write and to mix. So, usually I will overestimate just so that I have breathing room, so let's say if I'm like, currently, I have the luxury of, being able to be like, now for this day, I'm gonna work on a beat. But like, for back when I was working still, like I only have like, a set amount of hours when I come out of work to like work on a beat. So, so let's say I say, I'm gonna take 2 hours, but the beat's done an hour and a half, the other 30 I'm already starting to write lyrics, and that just kind of makes sure you don't waste time, and kind of don't afford yourself the luxury of having distractions, and that to me is the beauty of having a time limit, you focus solely on what you're supposed to do. And other things that I've done, in terms of making music to just save time is, let's say I got the beat, now I'm gonna write for it. So while I'm writing, I'll already like export the separate stems, and put that in a different file that I'm gonna use for mixing. And, start mixing the beat while I'm coming up with lyrics, because I've been writing for so long, I can kind of multitask, and come up with lyrics while I'm doing some other shit. So that's another thing, that I've done to kind of manage my time better when making music. And then as far as, the visual content, it's just planning, the same way it's not just, sitting down here recording for 15 minutes. Finish, it's like, I gotta set up the mic, I gotta set up the camera, I gotta, name the recording file, like every little thing you have to like be mindful of when estimating how much time it's gonna take to get done. And, like with this, when I do this, I'm really thinking of the post-production. So, my laptop, ain't no state-of-the-art laptop, so it'd be kind of slow in editing visuals. So I take that into account, and I'd be like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna do this shit one take. So that way I don't have to edit the video at all, really, except just add like, my little intro video and add the beat and add the vocals that I'm recording into the mic, so. And another thing is, so in order to do that, I have to kind of be prepared. So I don't like to write out a full episode of the show just because it sounds too like teleprompter-ish and it sounds like I'm, on the news, just reading words on a screen. But I do have like the main points I want to hit, such as, the time management one, So yeah, like preparing for the preparation is a big time saver if it's done correctly. Then of course, another limit that you can't really just magically improve, is kind of like your budgetary constraints. A lot of artists don't have that disposable income to where it's like they can just delegate the whole team of people to do a cover art, someone to do the beat, someone to sing a hook, someone to mix it, someone to master it, someone to make promotional materials for it. So in that case, that really unfortunately means that you're just gonna have to be like a jack of all trades and a master of none. And the full saying of that is, a jack of all trades but a master of none is still better than a master of one. And I find that to be true, because you just, in the same way that you could find things that you are limited in, trying new things and finding out you're not really that great at, it can also work the reverse way, where you find that you are better than what you think you are. So you might be really great at fucking around with some photo editing software to make some cover arts. You might be better than rapping or singing or whatever you do. You might be better at that in terms of you may be mixing or doing promo, like. So when it comes to having to take everything on your plate, it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like a gift to where it's like now you can see like what you're really good at, and in doing that you're able to then possibly monetize it, and you find out oh shit, I'm better at promo than rapping. So instead of trying to sell features, I'm trying to sell promo campaigns, or instead of trying to sell beats, I'm gonna sell engineering services. And and I'm not saying these things are going to be highly successful for you, because all of these kind of background things that go into making a song, like the promo and the engineering and the cover art, those are like the sexy shit. So a lot of people like don't like to pay for them, and it's usually like at the bottom of the priority list, when I think some of them should be at the top. But like I said, artists are working with budgetary constraints. So the best way for you to kind of make money is to not spend money and try your hand at doing all these different things until you can delegate actual professionals or people that are specifically skilled in those things. So that's just my take on embracing limits, because even with like the sit down series, which is the 30-second videos I do, I just place my old acapellas over like different instrumentals and stuff. Like the only reason those are like 30 seconds are because when I started, when I had the idea at the time, the Instagram limit for reels were 30 seconds. I was like, oh shit. So instead of me being like, oh shit, how long must I make this? One verse, 45 seconds, whatever. It's like Instagram kind of like, gave me the limit, like, yo, keep it 30 seconds. And yeah, really you can use limits, whether it's like, on platforms or whatever. You can really use it to your advantage, like especially with uploading music, how it's so easy to get a digital distributor. A lot of them usually you have to upload the music 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month before the time, and that really gives you time before your project comes out, to work out, okay, I'm gonna promote this, what content do I drop along with it. So sometimes, all the times limits do suck, but sometimes they are really advantageous to you as an artist and also as a person, to push yourself. And usually they're there for a good reason, one that you never thought of. So sometimes, falling or rolling over and subjecting yourself to the limits of time, your situation, platforms, sometimes these things are actually it's like a shit that horses away. Like, so instead of you just being all over the place, which I am as an artist, I can go like make 5 beats a day and then never make another beat for like 10 years, when you have these limitations, it kind of helps you to stay on track and be consistent. Even with my singles, like with my album, all my songs are like however I want them to be. But singles, I'm mindful of that. Oh shit, normally when you submit, people want the song to be less than 3 minutes. So now instead of me like making a single and thinking like how long is the song going to be for, I know it's got to be less than 3 minutes. So it's just another example, of limitations being kind of making your efficiency better, because now it's not questions. You're not questioning, how long should this be? When should I do this? It's kind of like just look at what the limitations are around you and then that guide you in terms of the logistics and sometimes even on the creative side. But yeah, that's me and my take on limits and limitations. If you guys have any, gems that you want to drop, of how you used your limits to further progress your career, or, other ways you were able to use limits to your advantage, drop them in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. I think it was a really solid episode. So, share it with any artists out there that we feeling limited and shit, And be back next week for the next episode of the Artist series. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys next week. I'm out.